It's hard for me to bet against LeBron. I'm sorry. As bad as sometimes they look, they still get it done.
Greetings and salutations, and welcome to the Odd Coaches Podcast. I am your host, Dr. Keith Adams, and sitting in for my tag team partner, one of my favorite people of all time, Fowler and Campbell. Fowler, and how are you on this Wind Up Wednesday? And thanks for joining us, my friend, as guest host.
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me, Coach.
All right, so on this Wind Up Wednesday, we're going to do NBA first round playoffs. And we're talking about the whole series, not these individual games, although they are just chapters, fans. We're going to talk about NBA award season, and we're going to talk about shit the Mavs have been fine for doing what everybody else does. But let's get started with the Eastern Conference playoffs. Following the first round playoffs is my favorite. Why? Games on every day, multiple games on every day, and I just get to watch basketball. So let's take the Eastern Conference. Milwaukee Bucks, Miami Heat. What are your thoughts on Milwaukee and Miami? Who you got? Anything you're looking for? And I'll chime in a little bit, but floor is yours, my friend.
I'm interested to see Chris Middleton. They said he practiced, had full practice. If he plays, I think this game goes. I think the series goes 5. I think it's 4-1. It's just Miami struggles to score. I mean, you saw Max. He had a great game, and they ended up, beating Chicago. But I don't see the consistency in them shooting well. You know what I mean? I think Jimmy's gonna have a good series. Bam. I don't know. Other than that, I mean, Kyle Lowry, he had a good game in the first play-in game, and then got hurt the next one. You know what I mean? So he's a vet. I get it. You know what I mean? That body might be breaking down a little bit. You know what I mean? So.
It's not might be. and I'm in agreement with you. I thought if the Heat played Boston, it was a better matchup because of how the Celtics play. Mm-hmm. But, man, player to player, Bucks should beat the Heat, and it should be 5. And out of respect for Pat Riley, I'll say 6 because I'm sure he'll be cussing somebody out. But there's no way that Milwaukee's going to lose to Miami. So we're in agreement. Boston, the number 2 seed, taking on the Atlanta Hawks. Fans of the show, and you know my disdain for Atlanta athletics, so I'll let you tell me your thoughts on the Bucks. I mean, on Boston and the Hawks before I tell you that I have no faith in Atlanta.
Bring out the broom. Bring out the broom.
That's it. You said broom.
Bring out the broom. Boston is locked in, man, healthy. Yes, Atlanta doesn't stand a chance. I'm sorry.
They can't even get one in out of the respect for the NBA professional.
Respect them all, but respectfully, this is clean sweep. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I still can't see El DeBarge getting skinny off a screen coming up, and I can't see it. So, all right, now this series has caused me pause because of the reaction of Philadelphia. So the Philadelphia 76ers are the 3rd seed. Brooklyn Nets are the 6th seed. Brooklyn is coached up very well, but they have no talent. So the Sixers should win this clean, but they puffed their chest out a little too much for me, beating a bad Brooklyn Nets team. Am I just being too hard on Philly? What do you think about Philly and the Nets?
First of all, I think Nets have talent. I'm sorry. I'm a big fan of Mikal Bridges, man. The fact that he's given an opportunity to be aggressive, and he's been playing well ever since the trade. So you got a team.
Agreed.
So for me, this Nets team, I'm not saying they're going to beat Philadelphia, but I think they can get a win or two. Mm-hmm. And it really depends on James Harden. If James Harden plays like he did last game, then it's going to be a clean sweep. And I think Philly's actually going to have a chance to go to the Eastern Conference Finals. But I don't see James Harden hitting 6 threes and playing like he did the other day. You know what I mean? If he's the Houston James Harden, then yes, Philly's maybe a contender. But I don't see that in James Harden. So I do believe, he played well. But I think the Nets, they're a great defensive team. And they'll make adjustments. I think they'll get a win or two. And I think Sixers winning 6.
Yeah, Philly is clearly the better team. Yeah. And if you go player to player down the line, Philly should win in 5 or 6.
Mm-hmm.
But I just wasn't pleased with them poking chest out, and you're not doing that every night.
Yeah.
And you're still playing Spencer Dinwiddie. And I mean, yeah, you're supposed to beat them. And it was just a little too much. I saw them Wizards games, all right? So don't think, you getting over on me.
So for me, it was more so I get the poking out of the chest, but when you hit 23s, or I think they broke
some record-breaking number.
Yeah, so I mean, they would. I don't want to say it's like they was gloating or they were just like, wow, they were hitting a lot of threes, which that's a lot. You know what I mean?
That's a lot.
So I think next game will be a much better game, more realistic. So we'll see.
All right, and then fans, I want to apologize on behalf of coaches everywhere who watched the Cleveland Cavaliers play the New York Knicks. That was a hard game to watch. That was an extremely hard game to watch. Fowler, who do you have winning that series? Because as I watch the game, I think I put in the group chat. I don't know how long I can watch this one.
Man, that's a tough one, man. Honestly, like I said, I thought if the Knicks could get one on the road, they could win this series, and they got that first game.
They got the first game.
So, I mean, Knicks play well at home. I think the Knicks can. I think the Knicks can get this. I think
the Knicks can get it. Spider played extremely well.
Yeah.
But Cleveland is in a position where they're the favorite, and it's different when you're supposed to do something, as you know, in your own career. It is just a different vibe, and the Knicks are playing with house money because at the end of the day, they're 5th seed. So they're supposed to lose, and but they're hard to watch, man.
Yeah. I mean, look, you got two teams that play slow. They defend. I mean, they got true big.
Was it good defense or missed shots? Which one was it?
I would say
I think they just missed some shots myself. I didn't see nobody scared me. I just saw shot in the corner, shot takers instead of shot makers, as I like to say. They were taking a lot of shots. They weren't making any.
Brunson, he a game changer, man. He a game changer, boy.
Yeah, Dallas thinks so now.
Exactly.
So, okay. Let's go to the Western Conference, as my partner will say. Wake me up when you're finished with the East. Mike, we're done with the East, and we're going to the West. Denver Nuggets versus Minnesota Timberwolves. What do you have, sir?
I like this. I like this series, man. I think it can go 6 games.
You do?
I like Denver. I do. I like Denver to win it. But this Minnesota team, man, Cat's playing really well. Cat, and I don't know if you agree with me. Cat reminds me of the Pelicans AD. Like,
okay.
Being able to shoot, being a big body, like, taking advantage of smaller, wing players. AD didn't really post up when he was in New Orleans, you know what I mean? But he played around, got to the basket. And then you got Anthony Edwards too, man. Like, Conley's actually the X factor for me. You know what I mean? He's hitting shots, he's scoring now, he's getting everybody involved.
You're missing somebody who they traded 4 draft picks for.
So Rudy, look, this guy, man, like, he had 20 and 10 last game. So sometimes it's just like, look, he's clogging up the paint. Then other times it's like, well, damn, he's getting 12 rebounds and he's actually making free throws. Like, he shot like 10 free throws last game. You know what I mean? So they match up well, I would say. Okay. You know what I mean? You got Rudy and Joker. You got Anthony Edwards and Murray. I'll compare those two together. I mean, Taurean Prince and Porter, I guess, for shooters. I don't know, but I just think the matchup is really good.
All right, so I've got Denver needs to impress because they're healthy. The last couple of years, the playoffs have been healthy. They're the number 1 seed. They've got to win in 5. Because they're supposed to. It's a 1-8 series. It's a 1-8. So if we're talking 1-8, you're supposed to be 1-8 better. That's what you're supposed to be.
Yeah.
So you're healthy. MP Michael Porter Jr. is playing. This is your coming out party to tell the Western Conference that, hey, the road goes through Denver. So if they win this in 6, I'm not picking them in the second round. That's kind of how I feel at it. You're supposed to win. You're the
Okay.
1 seed for a reason. All right, let's stop talking about it and let's go be impressive. Plus, Minnesota just don't like each other. They just don't like each other. And you traded 4 ones for Rudy, and you naturally mentioned him fifth. That's not good.
Yeah.
That's not good.
I'm not sold on Rudy, man. I'm not.
All right, Memphis versus the Lakers. Memphis is a 2 seed. Lakers a 7 seed.
Love it.
2 supposed to be the 7, but tell me what you think, sir.
This is tough. It's hard for me to bet against LeBron. I'm sorry. As bad as sometimes they look, they still get it done. You know what I mean? So I'm going with Lakers in 7.
Lakers in 7.
Lakers in 7. I'm sorry.
All right. Well, here's my initial thoughts. Ja Morant has a legal case pending, and that's got to be something on your mind. Okay. Because I don't like the law and the playoffs in the same sentence. But Memphis is a 2 seed for a reason. Memphis has young legs. Memphis has the Dylan Brooks kid that's going to yik yak and tack and talk. But can he play? For all the noise, lights are bright, and they're going to be playing primetime games. They're not going to put the Lakers at 10:30. So the world's going to be watching. But hey, at the end of the day, 2 supposed to beat 7, following. So I'm going to go Memphis in 6 because 2 supposed to beat 7. 2 supposed to beat 7. I'm not a mathematician, but 2 supposed to beat 7. And I'm going to say 2's going to beat 7.
You are betting against LeBron. Whew, man.
He ain't feeding me. 39's 30, whatever he is. You got to do it, man. Got some ankles, got some knees, got some feet problems. Look, we playing with young legs.
Okay. All right.
So, all right, Sacramento versus Golden State. I'm sorry I don't stay up for these late games, and I do want to watch it, but we got the day job. What are you thinking about the Kings and the Warriors? And we got a little preview of it. So, what are you thinking?
Man, I honestly, I don't even know. The way these guys play, man, both teams not playing any defense.
None.
They just score at will. I would have to go with the Warriors in 6. I think they'll take care of home, and they just got to steal one on the road. So I got to go with the defending champions right now. So I'm gonna go with the Warriors in 6.
All right, sir. You know I have no feelings. I have no emotions. I've watched the Warriors play on the road all year, and they stunk.
They only have to win 1.
All right. And Sacramento is the 3rd seed, and Mike Brown was the coach at the Warriors. He's got insight on everybody's strengths and everybody's weakness. And again, sir, 3 is supposed to beat 6. That's what's supposed to happen. So I'm going to say Kings in 6 because 3 is supposed to beat 6. And Andrew Wiggins missing shots because you can't take that much time off and come to the heat of the playoffs, regardless of why he's taking time off. Families first, second, and third. But you saw there was an opportunity, and he took a shot. He didn't make a shot. I need shot makers, not shot takers.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. I mean, but look, if Steve Kerr's going to leave him on that court, he has faith in him. You know what I mean?
Yes, and I would have left him out there too. And I would take that shot every time. Every time I'm going to toss it over there. But again, them young legs, that crowd was a college crowd. They excited.
That crowd was
a college crowd, man.
Man, Sacramento it might be the place to be right now, man. Like the environment, the beam. I love everything that's going on over there.
What was the beam thing? I don't even know the gimmick because I saw it this morning on SportsCenter.
So that's something new. That's like, well, you know, after they win a game, they light the beam and it's a big light in the air. Like I think it's cool. Like you said,
whatever works, man.
You know what I mean? It's like that college environment, man, and it brings the fans more together and things like that. So I love it. I love it. But
hey,
I'm sorry, the Warriors, they'll take care of home. You just need 1 win on the road. If they can't, I mean, you got defending champions can get 1 win on the road.
All right. And finally, this series I want to see more than any other series. Phoenix Suns are 4. Los Angeles Clippers are 5. What do you have, man? What do you have?
I got to go with Phoenix, man. It's.
What about playoff Pito?
Where is he?
The claw.
Playoff P is out for the first couple games, correct?
Oh, he's out.
Yeah, playoff P.
Whether he was in or out, I had the Suns in 5 anyway.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
just
No. Well, I mean, he's been out a couple games, but if Paul George was there with Powell, the rest of this, like, they have a good team to match up with. And I think they just got the depth too. Like, outside of that starting 5 Phoenix has, I don't know what else they have on the bench. You know what I mean? And yeah, you're gonna get 25 or 30 from KD. You're gonna get 25, 30 from Booker. 60 points, and you might get, if you're getting 10 assists from, Chris Paul, that's more points as well. But it's just hard to bet it. Like, it's just KD, man, in the playoffs. I see that series. I see it going 6. I see it going 6.
It can go 6. The Clippers have Russell Westbrook too, but man,
I like
as a coach that had 30 to the right of me and 20 to the left of me as soon as I walked on the court, and a point guard that can give him the ball, and a big fella that can run rim to rim. Yeah, I'm good. I'll take my chance.
But Coach, you gotta have some depth in the playoffs, man. Like,
a lot of timeouts, man. A lot of TV timeouts. A lot of Michelob. A lot of sponsors. That clock stopping on a regular, and I got 6.
I mean. But it's different when you got a guy that's 36 years old, you got a guy that's 40, you got a guy like, all right, them timeouts will help, but that game 3, that game 4.
All right, fans, when we get back, we're going to talk about NBA award finalists, and Fowler is going to make his predictions. We'll be right back on the iCoaches podcast.
The CKA SAVE Project is an industry leader in advocating for student-athlete academic and athletic needs. Through academic and athletic enrichment, the CKA SAVE Project is on the forefront of the issues facing 21st century student-athletes. As student-athletes continue to struggle to find a better balance between academic and athletic success, the CKA SAVE Project offers academic and athletic services to support student-athlete academic success, including academic skills assessment, academic and athletic consulting, academic monitoring, academic and athletic workshops. For more information or to schedule a free consultation, contact Dr. Keith Adams by email at cka@ckasaveproject.org.
Welcome back to the Odd Coaches podcast. In segment 2, we finally got the NBA regular season awards finalists. So, following for MVP, it's Nikola Jokic, Joel Embiid, and Giannis Antetokounmpo. Who's your MVP, sir?
I think I give it to Joe this year. Only because, I mean, him and Joker, actually these 3 have been going at it for the last 3-4 years. And you can easily say, Giannis should get it. You know what I mean? Just with the numbers he's putting up and the percentages he's shooting at. I mean, it's I think it's history. He made history with 55% shooting from the field. So, and then their team is number 1. You know what I mean? So you can easily give it to him too. So, but Joe, the year he's had, man, and the way he's playing and how he has, like, he's true. Like, if he's not on that team, that Phoenix team, that Philadelphia team is not a playoff team.
Yeah, I'm fine with giving it to Joel this year. It's okay. Because when you look in the annals of history, not a lot of 3-time MVPs. I'm sure there's voter fatigue for Jokic. And although Giannis probably deserves it, he didn't play as many games. I don't know. It's okay to give it to Joel.
Like if you give Joker this MVP,
and they go out in the first round.
Or even of that, but now you're saying he's one of the best bigs to ever play the game.
Yes.
Like 3-time MVP, 3-time MVP.
3-time.
He's the best big, arguably the best big to ever play the game.
Yeah.
If he gets this.
Yeah.
Is he? No. Exactly. So, yeah. I know Joke is a great player.
I love Joke. He's one of my favorites. He's one of my 5 favorites playing right now.
Yeah, but
he's not 3-time MVP, so it's okay. It's okay. You get your 2, keep it moving. He ain't gonna be mad. And Joel has cried enough for it, so go ahead. Here you go, and take this L in the second round. All right, Defensive Player of the Year, Jaren Jackson Jr. of the Grizzlies. Brooke Lopez, how'd he sneak through the census? And Evan Mobley for the Cavs. Who's your Defensive Player of the Year?
I got to go with Jaren Jackson, man. He's the anchor. Well, I mean, all of them are the anchors of their team, but Jaren for me, just being able to guard multiple positions, protecting that rim. I think he deserves it this year. I do like Brook though, surprisingly. Like Brook is, I want to say they made up a category of him, I guess, altering shots or the most. I guess he's leading the league in altering shots or contesting shots, maybe something like this. It was something weird.
I'm sure there's a next gen stat.
Exactly.
On this,
like,
I'm sure.
Oh, he's altered the most shots, or he's contested the most shots in the paint. But no, he's definitely a good rim protector. But I would have to go to Jaren.
I'm still with you on Jaren Jackson Jr. All right, Rookie of the Year: Paolo Banchero of the Magic, Jalen Williams of the Thunder, Walker Kessler of the Jazz. Who are you picking, sir?
Say those three. Hold on.
Paolo Banchero, the Magic, you know him.
Yeah.
Jalen Williams of the Thunder, and Walker Kessler of the Jazz. And if you're asking who a person is, that lets you know.
Yeah,
they picked two other guys.
That surprised me. That's why I was like, hold on, Kessler. Like, don't get me wrong, he good year, but
no bum conversation.
What's the kid from Indiana?
Is that Howard? No, is that no?
I think it's been like that. He was with Arizona last year.
Okay.
But he had a great year. He might have got hurt, but I mean, it's Paolo, man.
It's like, Paolo, yeah.
Yeah, it's Paolo. He's had a
don't drag this thing out.
Even though I do like Jalen Williams, though. Jalen Williams had a good year too.
Bless his heart, it's Paolo's too. Yeah, no feelings. All right, six man of the year: Malcolm Brogdon of the Celtics, Emmanuel Quickley of the Knicks, and Bobby Portis Jr. of the Bucks. Was Bobby Portis a Wizard at one point?
He might have been, actually. He might have been. But anyway. First of all, where is Norman Powell? Is this? This is
the league. This is the NBA saying, here are your finals. It's not me making it up.
In bench score. Like, come on, man. Like, if it's those three, I do like Malcolm, but I'm going to have to go with Emmanuel Quickley. I got to go with Emmanuel Quickley. I think
all right. And my partner will make me go with him because he's local to Baltimore. So I'm good with that, too. Coach of the Year, I'm mad. Mike Brown of the Kings should be there. Mark Daigneault of the Thunder, sure, why not? Joe Mazzulla, okay. But Jacques Vaughn and what he did with the Brooklyn Nets, he should be in the mix because he's my second coach. He's my Eastern Conference Coach of the Year. But who do you pick? And it should be Mike Brown because that Sacramento is the third seed. But I'm sorry, sir. Who'd you pick for Coach of the Year?
I get why these three are here. I mean, you got Mark, whose team was supposed to be a lottery team.
Team, yeah.
Then Joe, I mean, obviously, his first year he took over. I get it. You know what I mean? His first year he took over this team, but it's Mike. Mike. Yeah, like that. I didn't expect the Kings to be this good. Now to finish 3 in the Western Conference, it's an easy pick.
Now they made this award up this year. Mm-hmm. And it's called Clutch Player of the Year. I'm still learning the quantitative measures of Clutch Player of the Year.
Yeah.
But De'Aaron Fox of the Kings, Jimmy Butler of the Heat, DeMar DeRozan of the Bulls. And before we say anything, why y'all mad at a kid? Why you need security for a kid? What are y'all doing with DeMar DeRozan's daughter? But anyway, who's your Clutch Player of the Year? And I wish I could explain to our audience a little more about it, but it has to do with the final minutes of it. I don't know.
I was just, So I actually heard a stat the other day about De'Aaron Fox. Being, I think he's leading the league in fourth quarter points. Mm-hmm. I mean, that right there.
And then you go see it in the playoff game. So De'Aaron Fox is going to win it for me regardless because that's money time, and he's been money in money time.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Not that Jimmy Butler isn't or DeMar DeRozan, but one team still really playing.
I would break it down to Jimmy Butler and De'Aaron Fox, but De'Aaron Fox for me is definitely the Clutch Player of the Year for me.
All right. Finally, most improved. Lauri Markkanen of the Jazz, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander of the Thunder, and Jalen Brunson of the Knicks. Who's your most improved player?
I know we all.
Yeah, I'm paused on this one too.
I know we all want to say Lauri Markkanen, but Shai, man, I mean, fourth in points scored this year. This is a tough one, honestly.
Yeah, I'm paused on this one.
Jalen Brunson, there were people thinking he shouldn't have got paid what he got paid, and then he came over here and is an all-star. Honestly, Coach, I don't have a pick for you this one.
I got one, and it's Jalen Brunson because the Knicks were nothing before he got there, and because of his improved play, they playing in the postseason, and everybody else watching them. That's my measurement. Because of his play, they're playing deep. So it's a regular season award. He put his team in the position to be in the position to play in the playoffs.
What playoff team last year?
They were a play-in team, if I'm not mistaken, and now they're a playoff team.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken, but
I'm just saying,
point five's not here. But both players, SGA and the Jazz, were like in it to like the last day in terms of the playoff.
Yeah, and I get it. They're like, look, we're building for next year. We got all these picks. Let's build for that. That's what I'm saying. The playoffs, like both of these teams, I mean, SGA almost got his team into the playoffs, and they were supposed to be a lottery pick this year.
They were supposed to be. And again, it's a regular season award.
Season off is one of the best teams in the league.
Yes.
And then they was like, well, look, we need to use these picks. So I understand, okay, you add the playoff average, but if you look at these guys' numbers, Lauri Markkanen's numbers,
ball player.
You look at SGA's numbers, like, how do this might be the toughest award to give out.
Yeah. And I have no issue with anybody getting that.
Me either.
But the Knicks were fifth seed, based in part mainly around the improved play of Jalen Brunson, and the Mavericks are trash. And the only thing that I see is that, all right, last thing for this segment, I want to, and I'm glad I got you here, I want to give some WNBA draft notes. So unlike the NBA, which allows players to be 19 during the league's calendar year for the draft, WNBA requires players to be at least 22 or set to graduate. And I want to talk about the money. Salaries for rookie players. If you're a top 4 pick in the WNBA draft, you make 72 a year, a little over 72 in your first year. Numbers 5 through 8 make 69, a little over 69. The final 4 in the 12th pick first round makes a little over 66. All players in the second round earn 63, a little over that. And third round and undrafted players make 60, again, a little over that. So really following, there is no incentive for a college player to come out anyway, because that NIL, money is there. And Front Office Sports Today did a podcast, had Sabrina Ionescu on, and she says, man, paying players more, having more teams, there's only 12 teams, there needs to be expansion and the opportunity for more players coming out of college to play at the professional level. You're around women's basketball with your job a lot. Any thoughts on that in terms of not only the money, but having 12 teams and 144 players in the league and players who could be draft eligible saying, nah, I'm good. I'm going to stay another year in college?
I mean, I get why they want to stay. I mean, it makes sense. You know what I mean? But you got to realize, too, not all of these girls are getting this type of money. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you got the Angel Reeses, you got Caitlin Clark, you got Paige. Like, yes, they're getting good money, but not everybody else is getting this type of money. So I'm interested to see like what the girl from Villanova, Madison, if she was getting a good NIL. Maybe like she was drafted 3 or 4.
Yeah.
So this might be something good for her. I don't know what her NIL deal was or if she had one, but I get it why some of them would want to stay, but a lot of them. I mean, your ultimate dream is to play on the big stage. You know what I mean? Like whether you get there now or later, I understand that.
But they cut draft picks though in the WNBA. They cut first rounders.
I get that.
That's
too.
tough, man.
You definitely got
144 is 144.
Yeah, but the thing is that leads to, I think they all should expand. Like only having 12 NBA or WNBA teams. I mean, the WNBA is growing. As we see, I mean, now you got super teams in the Knicks and I'm sorry, not the Knicks, the Liberty. And Aces, like they're drawing more attention. So I think it should expand where now it's like, look, we got more ladies out there and they're out there competing at a high level. People are gonna watch. And it's during
Yes,
the summer.
I'm locked in, strictly for entertainment purposes only, but that's what you want. You
Yeah.
want me locked in
Mm-hmm.
to, put my little five in and I want to know who's this, that, and the other, and who's playing here and who's playing there. And especially with the player things you can do, that's how you get your market out. But man, I think it was just a missed opportunity, because if you had Angel coming out now and you had Caitlin Clark coming out now, and they just played 3-4 weeks ago, and now they're on somebody's team, you might get the bump up, so to speak. But yeah, they do need to expand. There's a lot of things, a lot of investment needs to take place that's well beyond this segment. So when we get back, fans, hey, we've got some things to talk about with the Dallas Mavericks. We'll be right back on the iCoaches podcast.
Why should student athletes use the CKA SAVE Project academic and athletic consulting services? Over the past 15 to 20 years, colleges, universities, professional sports teams, business organizations, and others have increased their use of consulting services to improve their decision-making processes and results. Over the same time, the athletic and academic landscape has changed for high school and college student athletes, as the NCAA has raised initial academic eligibility requirements for student athletes while decreasing the number of transfer restrictions. Former college student athletes have noted that they were academic and athletically unprepared for the rigors of college. Let the CKA SAVE Project's close to 30 years of academic and athletic experience help guide student athletes to increase success as we work to help student athletes achieve the goal of obtaining a college degree. For more information, contact Dr. Keith Adams by email at cka@cksaveproject.org.
Welcome back to the iCoaches podcast. This is segment 3. Following, is this what we're doing now? The NBA announced last week that the Dallas Mavericks are getting fined $750,000 for conduct detrimental to the league after arresting healthy players in an elimination game against the Chicago Bulls on April 7th. The league determined that the Mavericks were trying to improve their draft lottery odds by losing the game against the Bulls, which also eliminated them from the play-in tournament. Per the league statement, the Mavericks violated the league's player resting policy and demonstrated through actions and public statements the organization's desire to lose the game in order to improve chances of keeping its first-round pick in the 2023 NBA draft. The league did not find that the players who participated in the game were not playing to win. Why was this brought to light? Because they talk too much. That's why it was brought to light. And one more thing from the NBA, the Dallas Mavericks' decision to restrict key players from fully participating in an elimination game undermined the integrity of our sport. And that came from NBA Executive Vice President Joe Dumars. The Magic's actions failed our fans and our league. Following, I ask again, where is this going?
Yeah, that's a bad look, man. You got a team that's actually, was in the Western Conference Finals last season, and you do this. And I think I even saw that last game where they lost, and I think Mark Cuban was smiling, like on the bench. Like, I'm like, what are we doing here? Like, I get it, you know what I mean? You want picks and stuff like that, but you have a team that's capable of winning right now. It's not a champion, not contenders, but you play the game to compete. And I understand why they say this messes up the integrity of the game, because you got fans who want to see their teams compete, and you do this. I don't know if it came from office, if it came from coaching, who decided to do this and make this decision, but it's a bad look on the league, man. Horrible look.
So what do we find in the Wizards, man? Because I've been in this area my entire life.
Wizards
conduct detrimental to the league and the fans, failing our fans in our league. Man, I've been failed my entire life.
Hey, look, Wizards just stink. I don't know what you.
I want to find. Can you do that? Shoot. And Philly, honestly, they said we're not even trying, and nobody said nothing.
Yeah.
And now, because they're like, and again, they talk too much. And I tell you all the time, stop talking.
Mm-hmm.
All right, finally, we got some player beefs that I'd like to get your thoughts on before we wrap up. Spencer Dinwiddie on Kyle Kuzma. Kyle Kuzma said a few things on social media, and Spencer Dinwiddie came back and said, some people are blessed to be in situations. We don't get mad at Rick Fox for winning a championship with Kobe and Shaq. Some people are blessed, but we can't act like Rick Fox led them to a championship. Fowler, what are your thoughts on the Spencer Dinwiddie, Kyle Kuzma beef and throwing Rick Fox's name in the mud for no reason?
Yeah, they definitely could have left my man Rick out of this. They could have left Rick Fox out of it. But I mean, it's all entertainment, man. Those guys are friends, man. And I mean, one guy is at home while other guys playing in the playoffs. I mean, playing in the well, that's all it is. Just pure entertainment.
All right. And finally, because this is partly your fault, CJ McCollum. Now, I don't know who he was talking about, but I think I know who he was talking about. CJ McCollum said in his exit interview, availability is important, man. We got to be available. We got to do what we need to do off the court in terms of preparation, in terms of getting treatment, in terms of getting the right sleep, the right type of hydration, having the right type of diet. Everything has to matter for everybody, 1 through 15. Fan CJ McCollum plays for the New Orleans Pelicans. There's another gentleman that plays for the New Orleans Pelicans that cost me a frosty beverage that, quite frankly, didn't make it the set amount of games that I thought he was going to play this year. And somebody who's on the show, who shall remain nameless, convinced me that I think this is the year. Following, wrap this up. Was he talking about Zion, or was he just talking hypothetically in the air?
Clearly talk about Zion. And I mean, I don't know what's going on, but for him to say he's healthy and he just needs to get his mind right, come on, man. Like, this was 3 years in the NBA. I mean, mentally, it's like physically the biggest guy on the court every time. You just got to go out there and help your team, man. Like, if you're healthy, I don't know if you want to be that guy that's dropping 30 a game, and if you feel like, okay, you can't get 30, and 7 and 3, you're not effective out there, but your presence out there alone is helping the team. So I gotta agree with CJ, man. Like, if you're healthy, you got to go out there and just, help your team perform and play to the best of their ability, because they're totally different. They're a playoff team with him.
In the first half of the season, before the injury, they were in the top 4 in the West every week. Yeah. Now, would you use the B word with Zion? Is Zion a bust? Because that's the question out there.
No, sir. Because you got to remember, and I think they talked about it with.
They compared him with Greg Oden.
No. Wow.
In terms of he's the number 1 pick and he ain't playing.
Compare him more to Joel Embiid.
Okay.
I think he'll bounce back and he'll have some. I wouldn't say MVP seasons, but I think he'll have some top tier seasons. I mean, Joel missed the first 3 seasons?
First 2 seasons, first 3 had the foot problem or something like that.
You know what I mean? So can we give that same energy?
Zion's like 23 too.
Exactly. So I wouldn't say he's a bust. He still has a lot of time ahead of him, but it's like you said, it's just availability. That's all it is.
Now, I'm a Zion fan, as I'm the fool who said he was going to play 60 games this year. So I'm in the tank for Zion. So the fact that he played like 26 or 29 games, that broke my heart, man. And if I'm watching him warm up doing spin moves and throwing it down, I got a problem too. Okay, go sit down somewhere. Go in the back gym. Man. Don't do it in public for people to look at you and now have these questions. But man, Fowler, thank you so much for spending this Wind Up Wednesday episode with us. Always great insight, and it's always good to talk hoops with you. Anything to add before we close out? Anybody you want to mention for sponsorship or Patriot Club?
Look, I'm just excited about these playoffs, man. I'll be watching probably every single game, man. And man, thanks for having me on.
All right. So on behalf of Fowler and my tag team partner, Coach Mike Francis, I'm Dr. Keith Adams saying thank you for listening and or watching the Odd Coaches podcast. And we'll see you on the sidelines. Till next time, take care.
The Odd Coaches podcast is sponsored by the CKA Save Project.
The CKA SAVE Project is an industry leader in providing student-athlete academic and athletic support. From assessing student-athletes' academic and athletic skills, to measuring and monitoring student-athlete academic progress, to improving student-athlete time management and organizational skills, the CKA SAVE Project provides wraparound services for student-athletes from middle school through college. For more information, visit us on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org or schedule a free consultation with Dr. Keith Adams by emailing cka@ckasaveproject.org.
We hope you enjoyed today's show. The Odd Coaches podcast drops new episodes every Tuesday through Friday on most weeks. Make sure you subscribe to the Odd Coaches podcast on Apple Music, iHeartRadio, Podbean, Spotify, and YouTube. Follow the Odd Coaches podcast on Twitter and Instagram at Odd Coaches. Follow Dr. Adams on Twitter and Instagram at CKA SAVE Project. In addition, follow Coach Mike Francis on Twitter and Instagram at Coach Franchise, spelled Coach Franchize. For more information about the CKA SAVE Project, please visit them on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org. See you next time on the Odd Coaches Podcast.